Alright. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm going through a really hard time right now. So just bear with me if I am not super excited or whatever it may be. But this video, I just want to show you guys how how very useful my trading strategy is when it comes to S&P 500. I saw it play out almost every single day last week, and I just want to show you guys how very useful the strategy is. My strategy is liquidity sweep, breaker structure, fair value gap, liquidity sweep. Oh, hold on. Liquidity sweep, breaker structure, inverse fair value gap, or fair value gap. Or my strategy is a liquidity sweep, fair value gap, or inverse fair value gap. If any of those play out, I'm entering. So just to show you guys what happened on the 1st of September, let's go ahead and play this out. What's very important about my strategy is I always make sure that, oh, my toolbar on. Make sure that if I get a 1 hour sweep to any side of liquidity, which is the low end, it's kind of confusing me. I got so much going on. Okay. If what I try best to do is in the 1 hour, I'll mark out my high and low. If my high or low gets swept, my first initial thought is liquidity sweep. If everybody knows what a liquidity sweep is, it's when price decides to take out a high or a low and then decides to create a reversal. So as you can see right here, price decided to take out this low, sweep to the downside, and then now we're going to proceed to go in the opposite direction. So after I saw that sweep, the first thing I thought about was, all right, I am waiting for a buy. Now, my initial targets were this high and this high. You ask me why? It's because these two right here are equal highs. And just to show you to make it more better, I've learned that if you can target the equal highs, you will have a winning chance. Far more than you think. If you try to target every single high or low, sometimes you're asking for too much, just depending on what the trend is. So I took my risk. I saw that these were equal highs. I waited for price to sweep to the downside so we can look for buys. With that being said, I'll just mark out that high for the 5 minute, catch a sweep. Now let's go ahead and for the 1 minute, even speak correct. So like I said previously, liquidity sweep for value gap, or inverse for value gap, or liquidity sweep or construction for value gap. We catch two expansionary candles to the downside. And one thing that is very key for me is if I'm going to trade with liquidity sweeps if I'm going to trade for value gaps or inverse for value gaps, I need to see price breakout with the body of the zone that should be the inverse for value gap and then be retested. So what I am saying is right here, price did not break out with the body. And that is very key for me. Right here, price did break out with the body, but the next candle did not create a retest. So that was not a valid entry for me. Well, there was another inverse fair value gap right here. And this is a prime example. Price broke outside with its body, and then the next candle decided to create a wick inside of this zone. That was my valid entry. If I'm speaking real time, I probably would have entered here. Take profit all the way up here. TP would have smashed. I think this trade was probably 2 hours. Not necessarily a what's the word? A scalp, but more of like a trade that you're in for about 2 hours just because price likes to consolidate. But still is volatile. Because realistically this was only probably 10 pips. That's kind of what I target, 10 pips. And for price to only go in a direction of 10 pips but take about 2 hours is kind of crazy. Sometimes it doesn't. Let's move on to the next day. Beggars can't be choosers. You gotta take what you can, and if it wins, it wins. Okay, same instance that literally happened on Monday. We catch oh, that is not how I traded. There was not a low or high previous to 9:30. Well, I don't realistically call this a high because we were in such a big downtrend. So I'm not trying to trade once this gets swept. So with there not being a high or a low really close, I'm just going to draw down to the 5 minute. As you can see, there's a low right here, and there is a low right here. My initial thought was once we catch a sweep to the downside, I'm looking for buys. My target was here and here. And I know this looks like I'm just making up a story, but I promise you these were my targets when I was looking at the trade. Um, let's see. After we mark out all of this, we're dropping down to the 1 minute. Okay, it's the same exact thing that happened previously. Huge expansion of the to the downside. And one thing that is very key, like I just said, this was a trade that I posted. I think this was my previous video, but I took two trades right here. As you can see, after we catch our liquidity to the downside, we caught a break of structure. Price broke above this high, and it created a fair value gap. Well, also we're in this inverse fair value gap, so what I did was once I seen price hit the zone, I entered right here. Stop loss right below the low. Was very scared thinking that I made the wrong trade. Target above the high. There we go. I'll just keep it right there. And then once price broke out of this zone, I entered right here because like I said, once price breaks out of the zone and creates a retest, I'm entering. Stop loss is probably above this zone just to have it there. Didn't want to risk more than I had. So this is probably a trade that I think this is the trade that I called $260. Very valid trade. Let's go ahead and move on to the next day. I will say the only thing I'm struggling with when I am trading is there's times where I catch a mean trade and I'm doing really well, and then there's times where I catch a trade where I entered too early or I entered off of impulse because of the situations that I'm dealing with during work or just what I'm going through in my daily life. It's really hard because I know how to trade, but what's getting me is my mindset. I'm allowing myself to take trades when I know good and well that my mindset is not in the right place. And that's the main thing I need to work on. Other than that, I'm literally this close. I kid you not. But let's see what happened right here. Let's go ahead and mark out the high and the low of the 1 hour. This is the trade that I think that I called an L on. Okay, so right here, we catch a high previous to 9:30, get swept. Let's go ahead and go to the 5 minute. Oh, this one is the one that I missed. I missed two trading setups this week, and they were like so clean. I missed the one on Monday, and then I missed the one on today. I missed the one for this day, which was on Wednesday. Then I'll explain what happened Thursday and Friday. Um, I was looking at these two lows previous to 9:30. Price consolidated for a while, then took out these lows. And I was waiting for this trade, but I just got too nervous. I was thinking too much. So I literally watched price. Let's go ahead and do this. Sorry, it's a little bit everywhere. I watched price get this far. We did all this consolidation, and then once we got to like 10, 10, 12, 10, 10, price created this expansionary candle to the downside, took out this low, and we also started creating highs. Well, we started creating a lot of buying. We got a fair value gap, and then we got an inverse fair value gap. Well, price did its consolidating phase for a little bit, broke above these highs, and then came down and retested into this zone. I was so nervous about taking a trade and losing. I didn't enter this. As you can see, it respected this inverse fair value gap, and then it respected this fair value gap that never got hit. Well, if I would have entered, I probably would have entered off this candle, stop loss below the low, targeted this high. Look at that. Easy trade. But I was too nervous. Also, this happened too. I was waiting for price. Ooh, you might hear my little boy in the background. Let's see. I don't think I've seen this in 5 minutes. I think this was all in the 1 minute. Let's see. What's going crazy right now? There was a second trade. Right here. Okay. I seen price did all this consolidation. And I seen this fair value gap. I was wanting price to break out of this zone and retest, and I was going to enter for a short right here. Price broke out with its body, retested right after. I was so ready to enter this, and then a customer came in, and I was like, no. Targeted these lows just previous to what I was already at. I knew it was going to get taken out just because, I mean, it was according to trend. When you trade according to the trend, if liquidity according to trend, if liquidity opposite if liquidity opposite of trend gets taken out, it is going to go with the trend. If liquidity gets taken out opposite of the trend, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. I got too much going on at home. I hear my son screaming in the background. But as you can see, this was a valid entry, and I missed both of them. And it upset me because I was like, dude, like 2 trades back to back missed. Like, I don't like when I miss trades because it makes me feel like, one, I'm not trusting myself. But then when I take risk and then I get caught up and take impulsive decisions, then I get even more mad at myself. So it's just mainly having a lot of distractions, but also trying not to sit here and make excuses for myself because I know so much about this. I know so much about this. You know, it is very important that you have peace of mind and silence when you're trading, but also that you're so focused and locked in that you're not focusing on what's around you. And that's my biggest thing is I got so many things around me, but I also try to make myself not have any excuses. So I'm gonna finish up this video and then I have to get with my family because my little boy is going ham in there. Come on, let's be quick. There we go. Why is it not dropping this? What the world? There we go. Okay. So this is the day that I took a loss and I was very upset because I was trading according to what was correct, but I called it up. I called it F. Right here, price took out this high, and I was like straight up, okay, now let's go ahead and draw down into a lower time frame. I said I'm looking for a sell today. Price consolidated for so long, and both of my SLs got hit, and I was so upset. All right, right here, as you can see, we take out all this liquidity to the upside. Right. This was my first thought. Right here. Inverse for Vega. I seen price break out and retest off the 50 line. Well, this time I got caught up. I entered right down here, put my stop loss above the zone, literally at this candle, taken out, literally within like two minutes. Well, also there was another target. My target was right here. Why is my son screaming like that? This was my target. I don't know why he's screaming like that. It is upsetting me right now. This is what I mean about distractions, and it's not even my son. It's the fact that like he's not being taken care of right now. That's upsetting me. Um, Sweep, and I was like, no, I'm not over with this. And what I mean by he's not being taken care of is just the fact that my son's easy to deal with. All you have to do is just take care of him, and he's fine. There's my wife and my mom in there, so we're all good. Um, After that, I was a little bit upset, and I was like, dude, this trade is going in my direction. Why am I getting cooked right now? Well, this example right here. I see this expansionary candle. I'm saying this I'm saying this is an expansionary candle because one, price expansionary out of this box, then price expansionary down to this box. And because I'm saying expansionary is because look at all these little candles right here. This is a big candle, so I'm going to call it an expansionary candle. It somewhat is saying like, all right, sellers are back in control. What do I do? I'll put it right there. I'll get right here. I'll just extend this a little bit. As you can see, the moment I entered off of this black candle to the downside, price took me out again. After this, I was just upset. I was like, I'm sick of this. I'm tired of this. I'm not waiting for another freaking retest. I'm not taking a third trade. Usually, after my second trade, if I lost again, I don't take any more. Well, this day, I literally seen price retest this and I just gave up. A few minutes later, hit TP. I was upset. I was super upset. But you live and you learn. You know, price is just super choppy, and that's the most annoyingest thing in the world is you can't change consolidation. Consolidation isn't going to do what it wants to do. But I left with a smile on my face, knowing that I trade in the correct direction. That my analysis was correct. So you live and you learn. Last trade. Oh, goodness gracious! I don't even know what I clicked. So after marking out 9:30, I waited for price. Well, I looked at price previous to 9:30, and I seen these two highs. Once I seen price take out this highs, I went down to the 5 minute. Can't even speak because I'm like in such urgency. I want to see my son. It's like jacking me up. Um, Price took out these two highs, and I was waiting for price to create a breaker structure to the downside, or at least a inverse fair value gap or a fair value gap retest. Price did a lot. I'm not gonna lie to you. So I seen that price actually swept these highs previous to 9:30. So I just drew down in 1 minute. I wanted to be ready if I saw a retrace, and I got cooked. I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't take a loss. I just got cooked, as in price jacked me up because when I was trading with my broker, I was so on point. I waited for a valid retest. Let me fix this really quick. So I'm seeing all these fair value gaps. I ignored them. I saw this fair value gap and I seen this candle on my broker. This candle right here was the same height as this candle right here. I did not enter because I will not enter when things don't look correct. Well, if I would have entered, I probably would have entered right here. I think my target, yep, my initial target was right here. And I wanted to target this because usually stuff like this, liquidity always goes for it. I was just trying to target this. This is literally all I was targeting. Just a quick 2 point trade. Even if I would have targeted down here, just a quick trade. Just an easy, quick trade. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. It breaks my heart to see how many times I have the correct analysis and miss a trade more than actually taking a loss because it's potential being wasted. And potential being wasted breaks my heart more than a loss. And I just don't know how to explain that. I'm pretty sure that explains itself, but it's the fear that kills me sometimes. It's the fact of not being more in control of my emotions is what kills me. Not really sitting there and being real with myself. Q, you should not be trading right now. Or Q, why didn't you take that trade? Too much going on and too much outside noise can really jack you up when it comes to being a trader. If you don't have a time to really be devoted to sit there and be focused until you can sit there and say, no matter what goes on, I'm going to trade, it changes everything. But when you have so much distractions and you're still all over the place, all it's doing is either going to show you that you're growing and trying to cut out the noise, or it's going to push you away from trading because you're going to continuously catch losses and you're never going to be stable. Or you'll just keep a rotation where you win money, you lose money, you win money, you lose money. You'll never be profitable in the long story. So, with showing you guys this, I want to show you that my strategy works. It's up to me though if I'm going to be a profitable trader. It's up to me though if I can really follow my rules. It's up to me though if I will stop having FOMO, fear of missing out. But to wrap this up, because I need to be with my family, I love you guys. Invest in yourself. Never lose hope. Another day is a new day, but another day is not promised. Have faith in your Lord Jesus Christ. Show him love like he's shown you. Understand everything works out as planned. Just because it's not what you want it to be doesn't mean it's the end of the day. I love you. I thank you. And God be with us all. In Jesus' name, amen.